Hello. Today I'd like to teach you about the for one, it's like a visual kind of a gift, for you to understand something I haven't thought about in a while, and also Appalachian slice. So first one, Appalachian slice is about learning how to understand Appalachian and take kind of a mission for you is to take hip hop, take Ebonics, and think of the roots before it came down to that, the English and all that, and poetry, and then the Ebonics, and then go down to the Appalachian. Because I'm here in South Carolina and the southeast coast, up in here in the Appalachian Mountain area basin, where we also have a way to speak that is very Tennessee, very Carolinian, very Virginian, and Alabama. Well, I don't know if it's Alabama, but it's Georgian for sure, North Georgian. And Appalachian is biting. And, um, Ebonics is kind of like biting too, because, when you, like that, when you say when you say, rinse. It already sounds like I got bit there by someone, but there's always biting going on. You have to be able to avoid getting bitten, by the, Appalachian and by, Ebonics is like biting too. Sometimes, you talk to somebody for so long, it's like they're biting you. And like if you don't catch the mechanism that some people have when they speak, it has a way to bite you, and like becomes like a big bulldog and just, but also, Appalachian, it's the same thing and it, like will do the same thing. And when you say like rinse and then you say rent, but see the Appalachian says ch, and it doesn't have any, swallowing mechanisms, that the Ebonics has. Ebonics has swallowing mechanisms. You have to say swallowing mechanisms, and then you go, and then you swallow. That's what Ebonics does. That's what the black people do. Is just the African is the swallowing part. I'm pretty sure. I know there's other ones that you can do, but I think that one is like one of the biggest, emphases. And I think that the Appalachian, when you say something, it has to be like it's fragile and it can't be broken. Ebonics has to be kept fragile, and you have to be able to analyze it all the way around and let it be on its own what it wants to be. But you also have to incorporate something else in it, to make it more of an art form, to have more things to do, more levels, more to understand, and more challenge, more accomplishing challenge. And learning that, there's a lot of changing, so, it's supposed to be a real literal bite strike. It's supposed to be a real strike, and then when you get struck by it, it's not supposed to hurt. I make it to where when I listen to cues like that my tongue literally gets hurt, feels like it's got little knife slice in it, really hurts it, really burnt. It's like when you eat pizza, it makes it easier for you to get burnt. That's because someone is speaking like that to you, slicing you, slice language. It's also like Appalachian, when you say itch, and it really means it's and what it is. When you say it's and it's that tiny little needle, those little gay fingers, it's like it's like that, and then it's just got such a tiny, little aim. It's got to have the Appalachian swipe that goes all the way across it. Each time you speak, you got to realize, when there's Ebonics and Appalachian, if I could rap Appalachian and it be like behind the Ebonics, I think I would probably make a new genre, or at least, have a new subset of skill to where it would sound better than how it would sound normally. Appalachian, is not like how I just said it. Appalachian, has a S after the H in the ch. It's it's got a slippy slide in it, after it happens. Like when you say wrench, it can't be, a black person saying wrench. It's got to be ahead of that. And a black person has to learn this. It is so awesome. I mean, I've never heard one person be able to articulate past the Appalachian bite. And it is a bite. I mean, it's an Appalachian, chunk. When you say chunk, it shouldn't it shouldn't sound like it's farting offensive. It sounds like I'm farting offensive. That is not acceptable language. I know that I have preemptive cues that are rolling out right now that don't sound that good. And that's because, there's other forms of feedback that just aren't really working right now. So learning that, every word has ch in the beginning and end, but it comes after what's said. And then it falls in place, but then it comes after and before and in the middle if you didn't pay attention to it. So it's always there biting you. It's like a little dog, chinking. It's like that part of it, you got to learn it. And, learn that, and then you should be able to speak a little bit different with your lyrics and, speak a different way. And like the science of the Appalachian, not actually, just make it sound, there's no sound in it. There is no sound. It is not that. It's just the ch part. When you say boom, boom, ch, all of that, is definitely Appalachian, but I mean, it needs to be more refined in the art of, poetry and, learning how, Ebonics is definitely Appalachian though with the biting, but Appalachian in itself is definitely its own, so I think it's good to distinguish from the two. And, as a 7-minute and 12-second present, I also have another reason, why people have, hoods like this. And, it's because, this is just kind of a cool visual for you to understand, is that if you put if you have a light shining like at your nose, there's 2 holes right here I just discovered, which kind of helps me understand, usually you look at someone in the eye like this, but you can actually look at people just right here at the nose, because there's 2 holes right here. And, for the past 20 years, we've had smiley faces that are yellow, and then they have 2 black eyes with the smiley face line that's curved up like a U. And you can see it right here, that these are actually eyes when you see the holes staring through, which I think is very interesting and probably, I'd say, inventive. And it helps you kind of understand, the airflow and if you just targeted this part while you talk to someone and kind of understand how this resembles eyes instead of looking at them in the eye directly, you really do, see what's going on, and it's really interesting. And just to observe, the back of the mouth also, when there's it feels like there's 2 holes back here, coming down, feeding from the back of the throat, that are kind of like this backwards, that are opening and like closing with this thing. So figuring that out, can also kind of help you figure out more about the Appalachian and just how that works and how it has, this kind of opening and closing back here. It's almost like a snake with venom, but it also has it coming out up here in the front too, and it travels all the way through it. And I just think that's, really innovative. And anyway, learn Appalachian, it's what it is. Thank you.